Well, greetings subscribers. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. And today I wanted to do a quick video on my new home entertainment system. Why? Well, there are a lot of product reviews and videos out there for all of the individual components, but not really anything putting them all together in a real world kind of use scenario and how well they play together or don't play together. So I'm not going to try to bash any of the products, but there are a few things you might want to look at if you're trying to put a system together yourself and get an idea of some of the challenges you might face. So for me, first things first is the Sony Bravia X95J. Now this particular model is the 85-inch full array LED, and as you can see, this thing is bright. I would put this up against any OLED, QLED, QNED, you name it, this thing is going to outperform. Right now I have this on standard setting, max on the brightness, and on YouTube or any of the streaming sites, you basically have to turn this thing down at night because it is bright. I would say on the average, this is hitting anywhere from the 900 to about 1500 nits, which is definitely going to kind of overpower any reflection, anything that you have going on. And now, why did I choose this particular set over the, say, Model 80 OLED? One is because of the brightness, and two, the burn-in, which this does not suffer the same consequences of. And in my particular situation, I had ambient light problems. So as you can see here, I have these windows really coming in and blasting not only the TV itself, the front panel of the screen, but the floor. I mean, basically everything in this area. So during the day, I need something that's bright enough to overpower that. And with this, the anti-glare that's on this particular set, as well as just the brightness level, I mean, you could take something that's super bright, and as you can see, you can't really even see that. So this has a very good anti-glare screen on it, as did my XBR 70. So I really didn't have a problem. And one of the advantages that I have with this is I can now, push this set further back and kind of miss some of this. Yeah, the sun's coming in just right now. So again, you don't see that at all. So that's been an advantage. So with this particular set, I really have no complaints on really the quality, the screen, the brightness, the 4K, the resolution. One of my only other big complaints naturally is Google TV, the Android operating system. So I have had a few times where I do not get my local guide, or I've also tried to play YouTube videos and gone into my YouTube account and had that minimized up here into the side corner of the screen. And so basically when that happens, usually what I have to do is go here to settings, which doesn't always launch. So see, this is another thing. You go into settings and you get into your home screen. If I wanted the home screen, I would be pressing the home button, not the settings button. So usually if you go into the second time, you'll get into your settings. And then if I go down here to system, you can then go into restart. And what this basically does is that will restart the Android operating system or Google TV. So I've had to do this 2 or 3 times so far, and I've only had the set for maybe 7 to 10 days. So I'm not really happy with that, but it's very minimal. So it's not really a deal breaker. Some of my other issues have been more just the design. The TV itself, again, this panel is phenomenal. I did repurpose, as you can see, my XBR stand, and I mean, I barely had it. This is coming all the way out to the edge, so I actually had to create these little brackets here to hold it in. So it's very stable, and in general, this type of design and the options you have for placement is pretty good. My only complaint with it is when you have it raised like this with the bars angled. You can only do this on the outside. I wish you could do that with mounting them closer on the inside and then still have them angled, but you either have flat or flat out here on the end, or the 3-inch raised for the sound bar. So we'll get into that a little bit. As far as, there was some kind of cheesy things for the cable management that I was not too happy with, but getting back to the design itself, I mean, first of all, this set is thin, and coming from an XBR rear projection, this is phenomenal. But one of the things that's kind of strange is they did a really good job with all this paneling in the back. And they give you extra panels to cover up for cable management. But the power cable here just seems like it was kind of strange that they did not run this all the way into the center and have it managed with all of the other cables. Same thing on the other side. They have everything for your HDMI and your inputs here on this side, and they cable back to the center. So that, with an extra power cable on a different panel, doesn't really make much sense. But otherwise, back is really good. Good points and bad points to this type of corrugated design that they put on the TV is that's going to be a huge dust collector. I would have much rather them have a nice smooth surface like what they have here up top, or a gloss surface like they have here on this little ledge. That would have been much better. But yeah, it is what it is. And I can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt on the power cord, because if you wall mount this, it probably really doesn't matter. So, but getting into the cable management aspect of it, right now I have this hooked up to the new soundbar, which is the Sony HTA 7000. And this is their new flagship 7.1.2 soundbar. And cable management wise, I'm not really too thrilled with this. The cable management is very sloppy from this perspective, because on the soundbar, they really don't give you much options. And kind of where the plugs are positioned doesn't really make any sense either. So you have some of the bars, have a nice cable management with something built in to cover that up. I think the Bose 500 does, or 900, and some of the other ones do too. This one, you have kind of like the eARC cable that comes in one direction, along with the remote audio cable comes in and plugs in one way, pretty tight little curve, and then your extra HDMI is a straight plug-in. So that maybe for space and where the bass speakers are made sense from a design standpoint, but yeah, not too impressed. The other thing you might have seen too is the overall design of this. This has basically, you can go in and get the specs on what the speakers are, but you have front firing speakers here, 2 bass speakers. You have these ribbon tweeters, or I think that's what they call them, and then you have some up firing speakers here on the end. These are all cloth. The side speakers and vents are cloth. The front is a hard metal grid, which doesn't really match anything else. And then they put this gloss finish up on the top, and you can see within a week, this is already dusty. And you can see back with the TV, you get a reflection. So depending on the height of this and where you're seated, you get a reflection off the TV itself, glaring back down on here. So didn't like that as much. But again, HTA 7000, this is their brand new soundbar for 2021, brand new full array LED for 2021, 85 inch. And then I paired that with their Sony SW5. This is their 300 watt passive bass. You can ignore the old Sony system. That's what I had for my old Blu-ray player. which was pretty good. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit too. So this is non-functioning right now, but I kind of went the route of building the system piece by piece. This is the RS3S rear speaker. And of course, these are all wireless. So the sub bass is wireless, it's Bluetooth. The rear speakers are Bluetooth as well. That setup is pretty basic, pretty simple, not much to it. The sound bar kind of just picks that up and adds those to the system. Some of the things that I will kind of bash them on a little bit is kind of the overall package. Number one is the price. So right now, being a flagship product, basically for the TV, the sound bar, the sub, the speakers, very overpriced. And even with the Christmas holiday, Black Friday, nobody was budging. Either they didn't have it in stock, they couldn't get it here for Christmas, or the price was locked in, MSRP. That's it, end of discussion. So, you know, it is what it is. I guess if you want it now, you got to pay the price, right? So, but one of the things I did is I did piecemeal this together. So first things first, I bought the TV. I went ahead, gave the internal speakers, you know, a chance to see how it sounded compared to the Bravia 70-inch that I had with the speaker ring, which was actually, other than a little bit of the bass, it was better than what this set is. So I don't think they really improved the sound offhand. I think they've got too much other stuff they're playing around with, the audio AI and the 360 sound and stuff like that. It actually takes away from the overall voice separation of just watching TV. So what I had to do then was take the TV, upgrade, and get the sound bar, and then hopefully, you know, improve upon that. It was much better. However, it, like other people have said, combined, it is still missing the overall tone, the separation, and the bass. So I got the soundbar, I gave that a try. It was lacking. I added the subwoofer, the SW5. That made it much better. And then after kind of retweaking the system, it did give a much better overall sound. However, kind of that 7.1.2 full surround, it was still lacking as well. Nothing beats full separation of your speakers as well as individual surround sound speakers behind you. This is very impressive as far as the up-firing speakers getting a little bit of that sound above you. But even with that length, which is like 60-something inches, I mean, it's almost as wide as the TV. That gives you some separation. But again, honestly, this old Blu-ray player that I had, which is, I think, a Sony 970W, and it came with the surround sound system, speakers, rear speakers. It also came with the Sony S-Air, I believe they called it at the time. And this can either be wireless to your back speakers, or you can wire it, hardwire it directly into the Blu-ray player. And I will tell you that even though the speaker setup, the sound, the size is not anyway as good as what the soundbar is or the bass is, this actually sounded better in many senses because I have separation. I have that left and right channel separation of over 8 feet, as well as a sub bass box, passive radiator, not much of a difference between the two. And then I had wired speakers that were behind me on the other side of the room. And again, those were maybe 18 feet apart or 20 feet apart. So the separation was very, very good. It was missing that overall tone, though, that complete sound range. So, and again, I won't get into all the details. I'm just trying to give it to you kind of in a layman's perspective. I mean, we can get into a little more of the details if you want. So this like 3D audio, See if the demo goes or not. Sorry about that. My battery died. Well, hey, real world review, right? And I also needed to grab all the remotes, which is kind of funny too. I mean, I'll get into some of that too. But first things first, let me show off my old Sony remote commander. This is the third one that I've actually had. The first one was, I don't remember if they were a 4000 model, but it was black. The touchscreen actually started to die, and I got a replacement one, which was the new ones with the brushed aluminum, and then I think it was the system control button that started to go out. So I found another one online. I purchased it right away. These are great. I do not understand why Sony does not have a product like this on the market. It baffles me. I mean, on this particular one, I have, it's backlit. You have multiple functions. I have my cable box controls. I have my TV controls. I have my Blu-ray controls. And then I also even have my lighting. And basically anything that's IR, you can program into this. So what I'm going to do, still with some of the issues that I'm having with the HDMI and TV on the soundbar, I'm going to hook the set back up the way I had it, reprogram this. That way I just get the one button on, one button off. Everything comes on and goes back off again. But just to show you kind of what I'm talking about. Currently on the TV itself, I have that on the HDMI eARC 3 going into the sound bar on the eARC as well, and also the Sony Blu-ray. So that is a Bravia Blu-ray. It does sync, so when I turn everything on, as you can see, turn that on, the sound bar came on, and the Blu-ray player also came on. But one of the funny, interesting things is, let me get everything. I'm going to get everything shut off. So we'll turn off the sound bar. We'll turn off the TV, and we'll turn off the Blu-ray, and the cable box is already off. So with my Sony Remote Commander, I have this program for a one button where I can just press one, and you can see the TV came on, and the cable box just went to NBC. And now it's switching to external speakers. And eARC turned on the Blu-ray. But once this comes on, and it goes to, I'll set it to HDMI, just kind of run through this.
I'm good. I'm sorry.
So on a TV remote, you can now just go to TV.
Justin? Wait, John's here too. John and I were...
Yo, what up, Justin?
Yeah,
I was on the phone with our internet provider. I'm not going to say who they are, and we got it working finally.
So we'll go to something that's got better.
Very comfortable throwing the football, isn't he? Yep.
So this is one of the things that I've lost with the eARC is volume up and down on the TV remote. So I have to use that with volume up and down on the soundbar. So I can fix that because I had it fixed before. It's just, I wanted to show you this. And then as you can see, the Blu-ray player is on because, again, that's Bravia, that's sync mode. I have that set for power on so that it will come on when the system is turned on. And it also eliminates problems with the soundbar not powering on. But if I take this right now and I actually shut it off, watch what the TV does. So right now, still have audio going through HDMI 1 on the soundbar. I've powered the box off. The display that'll come up on the TV is now switching to TV speakers, but it does not. So, and to show you that, Here's the TV. If you look at volume, I have that at 0. So if you turn this up, you get nothing. It doesn't make any difference. So that's one of the complaints that I have is, yeah, plug and play, not exactly. If you know what is happening, there's stuff you can do to change that. The other thing too is if you go here on the remote, which something I was kind of upset about as well, is online there were multiple people doing reviews where they said this actually came with here, let me turn this down a little bit, where this came with the backlit remote, and it does not on the 85-inch. If you get the 80 OLED, it does. On the JX95 or X95J, it does not. So this is another thing. So again, I have eARC out to the soundbar, but now I'm going to go to streaming services. So I'm going to go to YouTube and go to my YouTube channel. So as you can hear, the TV is still going, right? So let's go down here. We'll go to library. We'll go to videos, and well, let's play one. We'll play what I had up on the screen before. So yeah. And if you switch this over to TV, you'll now get it through the soundbar. Or not. And so then again, there's no consistency. So here you go. So I've got the soundbar on 20, and now if we go to the TV remote and we look, you'll see that this is on TV speakers. If you go back over to external, when I was here before, one of the most impressive things is all of the equipment now I have, all in-house. So now here we are. And this great big thing. Can I have the CNC machine? Because oh man, things like. Let's just go back. We'll find something. That's yeah. This was my Bravia video. So that's a lot of the kind of jumbled back and forth stuff that is a little irritating. And again, oh, that's nice. Something went wrong. And the only reason I'm going through all of this, again, if you're looking at putting a package like this together, you can do what I did. Go online, look at the individual reviews. Oh, here's a review for the TV. Everything is great. Here's a review for the soundbar. Everything's great. Here's a review for the sub. Here's a review for, oh, you should probably add the rear speakers. It's all individual reviews, not somebody that put the whole system together and said, oh, look, I have this in my house. It's not something that Sony sent to me and had me review, and I have to put it back in a box and ship it back to them. I'm actually using it, and here's the things that I've experienced. You're seeing some of them. They haven't been this bad, but it's just kind of funny. So we'll go YouTube again. Yeah, I don't know why it dropped the 2.4 connection, but let's get back here. Yeah. Man, that's a better picture. There you go. All right, viewers. That's
And,
fine.
and look, you can't even move it. So how is that going to go up and down your cylinder?
We don't care. 15, we got the windows down. All right, well, other than that, yeah, I'll probably jump back on probably after the weekend and do just a follow-up video on here where I have everything hooked up, you know, correctly. Because, yeah, I don't like the way this is set up. I don't like having to kind of mess with the remotes as much, especially with that eARC. Again, I think the contour box is causing some problems, but as I showed you before, let's do this once again where I turn off the Blu-ray player so you can see the Blu-ray going off, and then watch what the TV says. It'll say switching to internal, yeah, switching to TV speakers, but let's go back to TV. So you saw HDMI, so TV, HDMI, eARC, ARC. So, and again, we're on 0. So if we turn this up, you're not on TV speakers. If you go here to setup, so as I showed you, this is standard with brightness at max during the day. Great. I've turned off light sensor, whatever, sound settings. So we're on TV speakers, but we're not. We're on... We're on the sound bar.
And loose gets to the 20, that's it.
So...
Ness, just one more look at the roughing the pass. Remember, this was 4th down, and Victor falls down on the play, actually trips over.
And say if you go soundbar, go to home, you're on HDMI 1. And again, this is phenomenal. I mean, yeah, that's not even halfway up. And if you want to really impress somebody, you just put that on at about 60 and yeah, it's something. The other thing I will mention too, just on this, and then I'll kind of wrap this video up, is the easy setup 1, 2, 3, where it does its sound, the sound setup. This is pretty good and did a kind of an okay job, but you really want to go, let's go later. You really want to go over here and do advanced setup. And one thing that I noticed with that too is on the speaker settings, if you go through and do the sound field optimization, that's the setup it'll do, and it'll actually, you don't have a mic or anything that you can go and actually sit where you're going to be in your seating position. It just picks up what it can pick up based on the echo, like of the rear speakers. It'll just try to determine what the loudness is and what the separation is based on where the TV is. So it's kind of backwards, where you really want to go into the manual speaker setup. And on that, you want to go for distance to sidewall, ceilings, levels, because this is where it really makes a difference. So you want to manually set that. And then something else that I noticed in here is after you manually set that, it does not update the speaker setting information. It will stay on sound field optimization where you want it to be on speaker manual settings. So there you go. And then I also hooked up the extra cable where I have the center speaker coming through the TV as well. That did help. And I also have the voice mode turned on because that's also helped basically with, let's get back over to...
And the Cougs trying to make it.
So like especially sports, if you use this voice button,
In the pit. Watson, who got him down close now.
I mean, even recording this on the GoPro, you should be able to hear what a difference that is. So that's a good feature to have on because it really puts that into the center channel. Sounds much better. And then also this immersive audio makes a big difference too. When that's on, I don't know if you can really hear the difference, but gives a little more separation. It pushes the sound out towards the external side speakers, keeps the voice in the center, and doesn't really do much for the surround, but makes a big difference. I don't want to push this onto like a movie or something because anyway, we'll get it all set up, figured out, and other than that, I would highly recommend all of these individual pieces and components, and highly recommend the X95J, the full array LED over an OLED if you're in my similar situation. If you've got this in a home theater room that's dark with some nice theater chairs, I would definitely look at the OLED. However, 85 or 80-inch OLED versus 85-inch on this full array LED, I would go this route because honestly, there is nothing that I've seen that really justifies the cost and can really change and stray me away from this decision. So hope you enjoy the video. Hope it's some good information. Sorry if I rambled on a little bit. I was going to make a video which was just pretty much bashing everything, you know, one of those 10 things I hate about my home theater system, but you know, I'm sure that's going to just generate a lot of responses that are, well, if you don't like it, you know, send me your address, I'll come take it off your hands. And that's not the case. It's just little things that I don't think they maybe took into account fully, putting again the whole system together. So you know, it is what it is. Definitely a tremendous upgrade from the XBR70 that I had, and even an upgrade from this Blu-ray with that built-in surround system. I mean, that was a good package. It was very nicely priced at the time, but I'm probably now going to upgrade the Blu-ray player to their 4K, which means now I got to buy everything in 4K again. So it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. You never know what I'm gonna buy next. Oh, one more thing before I go, I almost forgot. On these RS3S rear speakers, I have a design complaint, which I'm not sure why they went this route, but again, these are a Bluetooth surround sound speaker. The old Sony that I had with the Blu-ray system, you could run the speaker wire up through this stand, and it actually had a baffle that went over this back rear bracket, kind of as a breather port, and then the cable went up inside, came out, and was plugging into the speaker. Where this, they actually have a power brick, and these don't have speaker wires, but kind of a weird design where they gave you this power cord and it attaches either to the left or to the right, which is good for wall mount, but the angle of this ribbon cable is bad if you were mounting them, say, like in the wall and you wanted to hide it behind the speaker. That puts a crimp on here. And then also if you're putting it on like a stand like what I have now, I can't hide the wires, so I actually had to zip tie this down on the speaker stand. So I don't like that. I don't know why they didn't go with a power brick with a small thinner wire, which they could have done, a little more cost, but come on, I mean, for the price of these, what's the difference? So anyway, just not a fan. Love the sound, just don't like the product design.